Okay. Well, welcome everyone to the Speaking Goals workshop today. Today is about helping you get clear on your speaking goals and how you can keep on improving as speakers. Just a little bit of an announcement. We actually have our next 8-week course coming up. This is something that we call the Influential Speaker. It's basically a 8-week intensive, as you can see on the screen. That's a group coaching program. It's designed for high-performing individuals, maybe like yourself, who wants to speak with greater confidence and influence. So every single week, there is, so for example, the first week is the confident speaker. The second week is the impromptu speaker. The third week is the storyteller. The fourth week is the persuasive speaker. So every single week that you come in, you give a presentation working on those skills, like how to tell a story, impromptu speaking, and more. There is no sign-up form right now. I'll send another email about this. This is just a warning, pre-warning to let you know this is opening up pretty soon. So let's get down to today. So the goal for all of us today and for you is to know, number one, where you have been with your speaking, okay? And get clear on where you want to go as a speaker. And again, if some of you are just coming in right now, please take out a notebook or a Google Doc. There's something fun for us. You can see there's a lot of bunnies on the screen right now. So I want to ask you, which bunny are you and were you in 2023 or maybe the start of 2024? Are you bunny number one and you're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe it's 2024 already. Where did 2023 go? You're kind of surprised that it's already January 19th. It's the middle of January. Or are you bunny number two in 2023 and maybe the beginning of January was horrible for you, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. My life sucks. You're like the crying bunny for 2023 in the beginning of January. Or maybe you're bunny number three. Some days are good, some days are bad. You're putting on glasses because you're trying to act cool. Okay, it's okay. Life is okay. January started out okay. Some are good, some are bad. Or maybe you're bunny number four. You're hoping that you can be in a better life somewhere. I wish I can just be somewhere else. Or maybe you're bunny number five. Everything is going good. Life is good. Your speaking is good. Your career is good. Life is good. What bunny are you? I would just love to hear. Put this into the chat. You can have more than one number. I know myself. I'm kind of like bunny number one. Oh my God, it's middle of January already. With the 2000, with the 2023 and 2024 start to. It's almost February. So I think I'm number one, five, and three. Some days are good, some days are bad. I'm happy, but then off and on. Okay, so which bunny are you? Do you think you are? Okay, I'm gonna move on. So I'm gonna be talking about. I'm gonna use the term public speaking today. But when we set goals for our speaking, you can talk about. It doesn't have to be you like this person up here giving a presentation. It could be you as a leader. How do you communicate with your team, your colleagues, one-on-one, professional settings? If some of you would like to, you can also think about your personal communication, but I am going to refer us more to our professional communication settings, meetings, board meetings, presentations, colleagues, of that nature. So again, if we have not met before, my name is Kit Pang. I'm on the right here. I'm the founder of Boston Speaks. If you did not get a chance yet, we have our coach, public speaking coach Kent on the left. He's here in Boston. Our head public speaking coach, Gina, who is in California. I'm going to visit her for the first time actually next week and actually get to know her, because all of the people that I meet nowadays are holograms and virtual. I don't meet people live anymore. We've done over 10 and we've helped over 10,000 individuals. We started in 2016. Our main mission is to help individuals become more confident and influential speakers. Our main audience are actually folks who usually work in organizations, leaders and executives, and then we have like the business owners, coaches come to us. And everything that you're going to be learning that we're going through, it's been battle tested. We work with folks like in ASICS, Remax, HubSpot, and a lot more. So here's some of the things that we're going to go through today. Here's what we'll cover. Number one, we're not going to start setting goals and writing things down yet. The most important part is taking inventory of where our speaking has been, Section number 2, then we're going to reflect on how things have been going for us, good, bad, the ugly, for our speaking and communication. And then number 3, I'm also going to give you some core areas that you can focus on and write down more goals for your speaking. Okay. So when it comes to taking inventory, or the theme for today, this is the vibe of how we're going to do it. I'm going to explain shortly what we will do. And then I'm going to put on a timer, for example, 5 minutes, 2 minutes. And then during the timer, you will do the exercise. And then that's pretty much the vibe of today. Okay. So this is not going to be me talking a lot. I'm going to explain a little bit of theory, and then you're going to start setting goals, because this is a goal setting workshop for your speaking. Now, very importantly, in today's society, 2024 and beyond, it's no longer the survival of the fittest. I really want you to think about what's important, right? It's not about strength nowadays in the professional world, unless you're into the fitness world. The best leaders, the best executives, the people who can actually earn more money, build more reputation, they are the ones who have better communication skills. They are the ones who know how to get their ideas across and get others to believe what they think, feel, and act like, not in an evil way, but because they are just better communicators. So one of the most important things that you can focus on is knowing how to communicate, because in today's world, it's the survival who can communicate the most effective. Unfortunately, in the professional world, right? So number one, how can you block out time for your speaking growth? Like the time that you blocked out today, we're going to spend an hour here today. Do you, on a regular basis, take 30 minutes to an hour to plan for your upcoming meetings, communication? Because if some of you are here, I know you might have this thought: how can I speak in a more clear, compelling, concise way? I usually say to people, are you actually taking the time to think about what you want to say in your upcoming meeting, in your upcoming presentation? Most of the people nowadays, we just go into a meeting and we just think about it on the spot. Of course, we're not going to come out as clear and concise and compelling as we want to, because we didn't even maybe spend 1 or 2 minutes on it. So I know this is not new for you, but if you just look at your calendar, really, have you blocked out time, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, to craft your messages and put ideas down? So when it comes to people in the speaking growth, yeah, you can see the sentence here. Most people wing it when it comes to their speaking growth. This one day I'll work on it, right? This is what people think. I'll just get better as I speak more. I got so many other things to do. I'll work on my speaking one day. Or other people compare ourselves to other people. We're like, oh, that speaker is so good. I'll never be as good. So why even bother, right? So being here today, you already took the first step to improve your communication. I want to instill and give you certainty. What we're about to do will help you get you closer to your speaking. So number one is taking inventory. We're going to dive down into it. So what do I mean by taking inventory? It's really going back to this quote. You can't really know where you're going until you know where you've been. So what we're going to do is basically answer this question. Don't answer it right now. I'm going to give us a little bit more logistics. What speaking situations did we have this year? So we're gonna comb through not everything that we have this year, but get a good estimate of what speaking situations have we been entering into. So this is just an example of mine back then. So I want you to take a look at this list. Okay, first of all, I categorized it. Once you are able to see where you've been, you can categorize it more. But just to give an example, I run a business, BostonSpeaks. So I get on calls with people. So the year I at least went on 76 calls. They are usually 45 to an hour each, right? That's 76 hours. Those are just certain types of calls. There's another type of calls that I get into, 30-minute calls. When people reach out on our contact form, 117, 90% show up rate. So at least like 100 calls for 30 minutes, right? For example, there's a team I'm just meeting with, for example, one of my teammates, meeting with Hazel. There's at least been 22 to 30 meetings. Each one of them are like an hour long. So what we're going to go through is take a look at your year in review. It could be 2023 or January up to up to today's date, what you've been through. So what we want to do is just kind of like categorize what type of communication events, professionally or if you want personally, that you can do. And then once you get those, you can give them a bigger theme to things. So I just want to give you an example of how I found these. So what I would do, and you can do the same thing. I go on my Google Calendar, and if you have your calendar, you can do the same thing. Okay, so this is my week, right? Sorry, there's other people's here thing too. So this is my week. So so today I had a call with Haley, our new COO. I had lunch with someone. Yesterday, we did our weekly confidence speaker method live. Ian was there too. Hey Ian, good to see you. We met with another person. I met with the COO again. I had another meeting. What did I do last week? Right, last week I went up to teach a workshop at this college. I drove for 4 hours, so that's driving time too. We had this event, and then XYZ, XYZ. Okay, so what I want you to do. So, for example, if you're thinking, Kit, how can I count all the meetings that I have with people? Well, if you use a Google Calendar, I can just, for example, I can write Haley's name down, and I can say, in this year or January or XYZ, I had this many meetings with Haley, right? Or so Haley just came on board, so we didn't have that many meetings. So Hazel's been one of our team members. So look, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 XYZ meetings with Hazel. So you can estimate how many meetings that you've been into with a certain person. Or maybe you're thinking, Kip, I don't have any meetings with people. Well, what kind of specific communication events do you have over and over and over again? Type that into your calendar, and then you basically go find it. Okay. So again, this is my list of the different types of communication events that I've been to. Now I'm going to give you the same exercise. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. I want you to go through your January, you can do 2023 or January. I suggest 2023 because it'll give you a bigger overview of your communication events. You do not just have to do your professional events, you can do your personal events. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. How can you create a list like this? After you're done, post it in the chat because this is very interesting to see because you'll see other people have different things. So what I'm going to do is so here's a list of things that you can do, right? You can browse through your calendar and list all of your speaking situations, and then you go estimate and you calculate the amount, and then you categorize the sections, and then afterwards I would love for you to share in the chat. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Take a snapshot of this if this is helpful, because I'm going to put on a 10-minute timer pretty soon. And if you want me to go back a slide, do let me know. Hey, Ian. Hey, Ian. Yes, thank you for telling us where you're at. Okay, I'm going to put on a timer for 10 minutes. Get ready, get set, go. That's it. If you have questions, please type into the chat and I will answer you instead of talking out loud because that might disturb some people. We'll come back after 10 minutes. I'll still be here.
He's going to want to walk, you can see.
Okay, how are we doing, everyone? The clock stopped, so I'm gonna give us maybe I'm gonna give us all 1 more minute, and then we're gonna move on. I didn't even notice. 1 more minute. Okay, everyone, we're gonna move on. And for those who would love to share, I think this is just interesting to see. Can you put your categories and time spent in the chat? So just for other people to see what's going on, how it's different, and then in a little bit we're gonna move on to section number two. Yeah, Sherilyn, right? A lot of team members talking to the boss. Yeah, entire team check-ins, all these other things. So, one of the things I want to say is, we go through it in life, maybe as you were doing this exercise that you see, wow, right? We really do communicate in so many different areas that even though it's not public speaking in most of them, right? But professionally, we are still coming across and we are kind of still speaking publicly, no matter if it's one-on-one on a Zoom meeting or XYZ. And if some of you really calculate this, so Sherilyn, right? If you calculate all those hours, that's a heck of a lot of hours, right? That's a lot of hours communicating. So that's what I'm saying. Even if you work on your communication skills, it's just not when like have to do this big important presentation. It carries over to almost everything else that you're professionally doing or personally doing in life. Okay. If anyone would like to share, please share in the chat. It's just interesting, I think, to see other people's kind of like situations as well. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. We're going to go into section number two. We're going to spend a little bit more time to reflect now. Yeah, thank you, Blake, for sharing. Yeah, teaching undergraduates. Yeah, 104 hours. A lot of teaching for you, huh? That's a lot of teaching hours. Yes, like uh okay, I'm gonna move on. Thanks for everyone that's sharing. And for those who want to share more, please put them in the chat. Let's move on to section number two. Just by doing this itself, I'm sure a lot of things have crossed your mind. I'm gonna give us a little bit more questions now. So now, every single time, I'm gonna put on a timer for 2 o'clock. It's not the longest time, it's not the shortest time. I'm gonna give us a question, and then all you're gonna have is 2 minutes to write it down. You can save down the questions or watch the replays later if you want to go back through it. Okay, this first one is, what speaking wins did you have in 2023 or the beginning of 2000 or the beginning of this January? What speaking wins did you have and why? Okay. What made you proud? Most of us, we want to go to, this is what we can improve on. This sucked. This sucked. That sucked. Okay. What speaking wins did you have? Little moments, big moments. You shared an idea that you didn't want to. You spoke up for yourself. You did this big presentation, whatever it is. Okay. Comb through your situations. Think about it. You all have 2 minutes. What speaking wins? What speaking wins did you have, and why did you consider that a speaking win? Or what speaking or communication moments made you proud? Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. Let's go on to the next question. Here's the next question. So I want you to take a look at all your speaking situations that you basically wrote down when we kind of categorized it. What did you learn? Okay, go. 2 minutes. Hey, Mick, good to see you. Okay, so Mick asked, do you mean what I've learned about myself, others, the process? Whatever you want to write, Mick. What did you learn? Yeah, what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about maybe those other people talking to you in those situations? So open game. Yeah, if some of you want to type in the chat too, you can type that in. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next question. Save that for yourself a little bit later if you didn't get into it. Okay, this is a fun one. If this was the end of next year or the end of 2024, and you were taking inventory again, what would your speaking situations look like? So if this was the end of 2024 and you were taking inventory for 2024, ideally, do you want the same amount of communication events spent? Do you want to be in the same communication events? What would be different? What would be the same? Maybe what other speaking events or situations do you want to get yourself into? Okay. So ideally, if this was the end of 2024, take 2 minutes. How would you take inventory? What would it look like? What would you want or not want? Okay, that scared me. I forgot the alarm was going on for the. Okay. 2 minutes are up. We're gonna move on to the next question. And we only have a few more questions left, okay? What are your ultimate goals as a speaker? There's two things here. One, I want you to dream big. So I just want, and then I want you to what's also realistic for this year. So I just want to say this really quickly. One of my friends asked me the other day, actually, it's not the other day, it was like 2 years ago. She asked Kit, what are some of the goals that you have in life in general? And I didn't know how to answer because I didn't have them in my mind. So I listed some random goals off, and then I asked her, "What are your goals?" And what she said kind of like opened my mind even more. She said, "I'm gonna win the Nobel Peace Prize." And when she said it, like she has such belief and certainty, it made me believe that she's gonna win it too. And that made me think bigger. I said, oh man, the goals that I'm thinking are really not that big, right? So number one, how can you dream big? If you had all the amount of money, if you had all the time in the world, what would you put? And at the same time, what is realistic for this year as well? So put those two type things down. What are your ultimate goals as a speaker? Dream as big as you want, but also I know some of you are like, okay, let's be more realistic. Put those down as well, okay? 2024 or beyond. 2 minutes. Okay, the 2 minutes up. I'm actually gonna take maybe 2 or 3 more minutes on this. And I forgot if I have this on another slide, but I'm just gonna bring it up now. So many of the times we write our goals, especially when it comes to speaking or communication. Many people don't know how to make it more logistical and put a number to it, right? In other areas of life, maybe we can say, oh, we want to make $1 million XYZ, okay? So on the public speaking coach side, when many people tell us our goals, right? One of the things is how do we know we're actually accomplishing this, or how do we make it justifiable or put a number to it? So Ian, I'm going to use yours for an example, and if any of you want to put yours on the chat, I'll help you too. So Ian said, at the end of 2024, I will be able to have a better communication with whoever you speak to, right, Ian? So thank you for sharing that. So from one side, one can say this is very subjective. I will be able to have better communication with whoever. Now, here's what we can do to put a number to it. I will ask 10 people to see if they understood what I'm saying or if it was good communication to them. So if I ask 10 people and 9 out of the 10 people tell me that I was communicating to them in a good way, that is a little bit that will help you see a little bit more. Or here's another way. If you don't want to ask people, you can say, I will fill out 10 surveys that I write by myself of how I communicated. So when I say surveys, it could be this. Every single time I finish a meeting or presentation, I'm going to rate myself from 0 to 10, 10 being very good, and why. I'm going to have 10 of those ratings by the end of 2024. Okay? So you can create your own survey and rate how you're doing as a communicator so that over time you can see if your particular numbers are working or decreasing XYZ. So here are some other ones. Sherilyn, okay. So let's say becoming more confident. Now, again, I'm not trying to put a number to everything, but I want to show you that it could be possible to put a number to everything. Okay. So being more confident, an emotion is very subjective. You can feel confident right now, and in the next 5 minutes, you can feel very anxious or nervous. Okay. So the confidence can be it can come and go, it can ebb and flow. So how do we know? How do we know if that confidence will be there? So kind of like what I said to Ian earlier, you can rate yourself after the speaking event from a 0 to a 10. How confident did I feel? Why did I not feel as confident? Why did I feel confident? So that over time, you can take a look at your own results, your own subjective feedback results, and you can take a look at this on paper. Yes, if you don't want to put it on paper, you can just put it on the app. After this whatever meeting or presentation, did I feel confident or not? Yes or no, right? So you can say, oh, after 5 meetings, I had 4 yeses and maybe 1 no. So that will show you over time, like if you can literally look on paper, do you think you were more confident? So this is some ways of doing them. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move on just because of time here. Okay, I'm gonna put on the 2 minutes as I speak. I want you to prioritize the top 3 to 5 things you want to work on. Just put a number next to them. Which ones are most important to you? Okay. If you've written it out already, you can. If you have a Google Doc, just move them around. If this is on pen and paper, put a number next to them. Which one is more important to work on? Number 1, number 2, number 3? Because as you know, sometimes you just can't work on everything at the same time. And if any of you have any questions, do write them down. This one might be a quick one for me, but I'll just leave 1 more minute. I just want to say hi to Eric. Eric, I see you walking around.
Sorry. Oh yeah, and it will stop videos. Sorry. Helping my daughter make a burger.
I know you're not doing the work now because you're walking around.
No,
you do it afterwards.
Then I had to get it out. Busted.
Yeah, good to see you, Eric.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Hope you prioritized it. Okay, what are the next steps? I believe this is the last one. Hold on, just let me check. Okay, I'll explain this a little bit. What are the next steps you need to take for each goal? Okay, so for example, if my goal is I want to be a speaker that focuses on quality over quantity, my step number 1 is I can create a checklist to help me prep. I will schedule the time on my calendar to do the checklist. I'll review the presentation 3 times and then reflect after each presentation. Okay. So let's say your goal is to be more confident. What's the first thing I have to do? What's the second thing I have to do? What's the third thing I have to do? to aim to become more confident. Okay, so yes, again, this is subjective, and if any of you needs help, put it in the chat. But I want you to take your top priority first. Priority number one. What other steps do you think you need to do to accomplish that? Okay, take 2 minutes. When you finish priority number one, do priority number two. One important thing I want to note is many of the goals that we might have are, again, very subjective. So one step for each one of us could be, what's my definition of being comfortable? What's my definition of being well-spoken, right? And how do I know when I achieve that? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing right now, everyone. There's a little bit more to what we're doing, but what I want us to do, I want us to go into a breakout rooms of 2 to 3 people. And in your breakout rooms, all I would love for you to do is to share 1 to 3 things that you wrote down. Thank you all for coming back. It is the top of the hour. I just want to say thank you all for spending your time here. I hope you found this to be helpful. If any of you have any other questions, feel free to email me personally at kit@bostonspeaks.com. Again, just a reminder, we're gonna have our program, the influential speaker. We haven't done this program actually in a while. This is we work on the confident speaker, the storyteller, the persuasive speaker. Every single week, people come in. There's a different speech project, and you give a speech depending on the theme. That gets the training on it. There will be more information on that on email, or email me if you're interested. I just want to say I hope you all found this to be very, very helpful, and I have a good rest of the day, everyone. There will be a replay. There will be a replay that will be sent out.
Okay,
Thank
when
you.
did you say that workshop was going to take place?
That workshop is gonna be is an 8-week live course. It starts on the first week of February. More information will be sent out actually pretty soon, but it's 8 weeks, 8 consecutive Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, starting February 5th, I believe, the first Tuesday of February.
You provide the exercises and all of that?
Yeah, there's an online module. So people watch the online module. When they come into the live session every week, you just deliver and you get feedback. So all the learning takes place online, and then when you come in, you go speak. I mean, I will teach and train on the course during the day of, but it's more of like you come in, it's your turn to talk, and then we go on to the next person, feedback, go on to the next person. Okay.
Look forward to getting the information.
Okay, thank you, Janet. And everyone, Ian, good to see you.
Very
Janet,
much.
I connected with
Have a
you on
nice
LinkedIn.
weekend.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.